Hello and welcome to Real Strange Tales, a show where we dive into the odd, violent, mysterious, and macabre stories that take place every day in our real world. I'm your host and narrator, Mike Howes, aka Slaughterhouse.
And I am your host. Uh, what what's a cool thing I can do?
You want a name?
Yeah, like
Go for it.
uh, well, but can we didn't talk earlier.
Losing daylight, man. Come on.
I am your host, Cody McLaughlin, aka Coo McLaughlin. It's like boo, but with a C.
All right, and for anyone still listening, let's get on with the first show.
What are we talking about?
We're actually starting with a pretty big one. It's the basis for a pretty popular urban legend.
Oh, give me that Grim Cuddy
Not Grimcutty. It's not based on a true story.
that you know of.
Grimcutty is a work of fiction, unlike our account today. The story of Karen Barclay and the chain of events set in motion on the night of Andy's sixth birthday changed their lives and will one day become the downfall of one of the most popular toys of the late 1980s.
Okay, you spelled it wrong.
What?
Real, you spelled it Reel in the notes, not Real. You know, like the real word.
Uh, Whatever, I'll fix it in post. Karen Barclay's story begins in Chicago on November 9th, 1988. A widow and single mother to her 6-year-old son Andy, Karen worked long hours in the jewelry section of the Carson Pirie department store. But November 9th was a special day for the Barclay family. It was Andy's sixth birthday. The boy who had been a model child in the wake of Karen's hardships was obsessed with one thing this birthday: good guy dolls.
Yo, is this fucking Chucky?
Yeah, do you know the story?
What story?
I figured with the accent that you didn't. All right. Anyway, given the short notice, tight money, and high demand for the toy, Karen wasn't able to find one to give him for his birthday. Andy was disappointed but took it in good spirits. Later in the day, Maggie Peterson, Karen's best friend and coworker, took her to a nearby alleyway to meet a homeless man.
I'm sorry.
You'll, you'll see. The man had a good guy doll that Karen readily bought for $30, marked down from the MSRP of $100, before returning to work where she was offered an extra shift. She only had time to stop home and enjoy Andy's ecstatic reaction to his gift and instant bond with the doll. Chucky, as the doll was called, was one of multiple different names given to the line of good guy dolls that could respond to the voice of the user with 3 unique sentences, featured the ability to move its neck, move its mouth in sync with those sentences, and have 2 functioning eyelids.
Wait, hey, just real quick. This homeless man had a business but no home, and he was selling discount goods.
Yes.
Oh, I mean the doll sounds cool. It sounds more functioning than drunk me.
Yeah, it does have your range of function beat, yes. Your non in sync eyelids are my favorite part.
Yeah, it's
Eh,
my right eye's bad.
Yeah. Anyway, after finishing her shift, Karen returned home to find an active crime scene in front of her apartment building. She was terrified to discover that Maggie had fallen from the kitchen window in their ninth-floor apartment and was killed on impact with a truck parked on the street below. She fought her way past the cops and up the stairs to her apartment to find Andy being questioned by Detective Mike Norris.
That's no, that's scary, man. Time before cell phones, you leave and you're just like you just don't exist until you come back, and no one can reach you. Information can't reach you. People can't reach you. You wouldn't even know like if your house burned down until 30 minutes after you clock out of your job.
Yeah, like James Cameron, he was underwater when he found out 9/11 happened. That's got to be pretty shocking to come back to. But nowadays, even if you don't answer your phone, it tells people where you are without you doing anything.
It's that like wait, wherever you go?
Detective Mike Norris suspected foul play after finding a child-sized footprint on the counter from an overturned bowl of sugar and a bloodied hammer in the corner.
What's the foul play part? Like everyone has like at least a couple hammers that might be covered in blood in their house.
I mean, blood or barbecue sauce. Either way. Devastated, confused, and instinctively defending her son, Karen showed the police the door while Detective Norris was insistent on following up at a later date. But Karen's concern lay with her son, who was still clinging tight to the doll. He reportedly told her that the doll told him he was sent from heaven by their dad to protect them. He also said that Chucky told him his full name was Charles Lee Ray.
Ooh, that's a rough name.
Why?
That's like an unfortunate name. Hey guys, check out my good guy doll. His name is Jeffrey Bin Laden.
Oh, because Charles Manson, Lee Harvey Oswald, and James Earl. I gotcha. Coincidentally, the night before that, notorious criminal and serial killer.
Wait.
Yep.
Criminal and serial killer? Is being a serial killer not a crime?
He also stole and stalked and things like that. He was notable for being a serial killer, but also notable for committing other crimes.
Oh, so he's jacking all trades.
Yeah. I mean, he might be a master of putting a bag over people's head from the back seat of their car, but I don't know. He got caught, so I guess he couldn't have been a master. Notorious criminal and serial killer, known as the Lakeshore Strangler, was gunned down by Detective Norris after being left behind by his getaway driver. The Lakeshore Strangler's real name was discovered to be Charles Lee Ray.
Call R.L. Stein, because I've got goosebumps.
I don't know his number. Charles Lee Ray, who also had ties to the occult, was shot and chased into a Playland toy store by Detective Norris, where he bled out. The store would then be struck by lightning. The victims he left in his wake are too numerous to count, with some bodies still missing to this day.
Okay, so the kids saw a report on the news about it since it happened the day before. He was traumatized because his aunt fell out the window. And do you think maybe he like scared her? He snuck up on her. He bumped into her knees while she was like cleaning and she fell out. But like, so yeah, he stuck with the name, blamed it on the doll, and gave it the serial killer's name. It's terrible, but like some people cope like that. How it feels like this is over. How long are these episodes supposed to be?
We're just getting started. The next day, Karen dropped Andy off at school. Chucky still gripped firmly in his arms.
Dude, his babysitter fell out of the window and he didn't get a single day off school. His mom still took him?
She couldn't get off of work. I think we already covered how that department store wasn't a good place to work.
Yes. Capitalism, the true villain.
Every time. Karen passionately hugged her son and told him how much she loved him and how much he meant to her before she left. Unbeknownst to Karen, Andy would be marked absent that day. While his whereabouts for the next few hours are unknown and couldn't be confirmed, Andy was found by police wandering the streets alone with Chucky several blocks from his school. Coincidentally, a man squatting in an abandoned house near where he was found was killed in a gas explosion. That man was later identified to be Eddie Caputo, Charles Lee Ray's partner and the suspected getaway driver the night he was killed.
Okay, just real quick, blanket statement. I want to state factually, you should not kill people. It is wrong.
Okay, I was about to hit pause. I was worried about what you were going to say.
So, if I'm getting this right, Andy is 6 years old.
Yeah, he was 5 2 days before this.
Yeah, that's how it works. Based off of one news segment on standard TV, by the way, which is already upsetting.
Yeah.
He ditched school. He found a criminal that the cops couldn't track down, and he blew him up. I don't want to say it's cool, but
Okay, that's fair. But how do you think you knew where to find Caputo? Assuming he was there and assuming he was the one that did it.
yeah, so the answer is obvious. It is skill.
Answering a call to come to the station, Karen arrives to find Andy once again being questioned about Maggie. He said that he believes Maggie fell because she was scared when she saw Chucky. Under threat of having Andy taken away, Karen desperately attempts to convince Andy to admit that Chucky isn't alive. Andy emotionally tried his hardest to get Chucky to talk to the police officers, which he obviously didn't.
It would be funny if Chucky did speak up and all he said was like, I ain't telling you nothing.
Is that what his accent sounds like?
It's a doll. Do they have accents? Where's he from?
Chicago?
All right.
Can you do a Chicago accent?
Well, I'm walking here.
Close enough, close enough. Andy was held for psychiatric evaluation in the care of a child psychiatrist named Dr. Ardmore. Karen returned home with Chucky. While examining the box Chucky came in, Karen claimed she found his batteries still in the box, unopened.
The batteries were unopened.
Yes, the doll did not have any batteries in it.
That's spooky.
And keep in mind that they have seen him talk and move his eyelids and whatnot.
I don't like it.
She then claimed that she attempted to threaten the doll into speaking by holding it over the fireplace, at which point the doll attacked her before escaping.
Oh shit! So mom's the crazy one.
Or she's just trying to back her son up.
Oh, that's actually sweet. We need more supportive parents.
It's true, it's true. In search of answers, Karen tracked down the homeless man she bought the doll from, but was met with hostility and assault. Luckily, Detective Norris had been tailing her and intervened, then got the man to admit that he got the doll from the Playland toy store, which had closed due to the burn damage from the lightning strike the night Norris killed Charles Lee Ray.
All right. So, can you give me like a small amount of money because I am gonna start sleeping with the lights on and my bill's gonna go up.
No. The same night, Detective Norris's car was involved in an accident, though the entirety of the police report on that accident is redacted and unavailable to the public.
He was just texting and driving.
1988.
He was thinking about Donkey Kong and driving.
The next day, Detective Norris followed up on a lead and went to meet with John Bishop, otherwise known as Dr. Death, the self-proclaimed master of the dark arts and known associate of Charles Lee Ray. He was too late, however, as Bishop was found on the verge of death with his leg and arm completely snapped, as well as a gaping stab wound in his chest. His last words to Karen and Norris were to destroy his heart.
I mean, once your heart stops, it's destroyed, is it not?
Yeah,
Okay, so what was he getting on about?
I think he was referring to maybe Chucky. I don't think he was asking them to destroy his heart.
Uh,
Anywho, Dr. Ardmore continued his evaluation of Andy and was last seen alive chasing after Andy after he'd escaped, claiming that Chucky was coming to kill him.
last seen alive? Andy, you are going nuts, my guy.
Okay, so what do you think happened to Dr. Death then? Andy was with Dr. Ardmore when he was killed, and they got killed around the same time.
Separate incident, maybe. Ooh, voodoo.
You think it was voodoo?
Yeah, I got nothing. I mean, I guess it doesn't make sense. Even if like this kid's just he's just killing everyone. He's a little killing machine. But I mean, I don't think he's gonna be able to snap a grown man's arm and leg clean in half.
Maybe he didn't drink his milk. Dr. Ardmore's body was found attached to an electroshock therapy machine turned up as high as it would go. His flesh burned to a crisp and his brain fried from the outside in. He was found on the ground, likely falling after receiving the wound found on the back of his leg. Andy was long gone.
So wait. So if there's a machine that gets hooked up to a human being, why would you make it so it can fry their brain?
Why would you make a machine intended to shock people at all? Seems like a dick move.
Oh, do you think that the doctor is trying to shock Andy? Fuck that doctor. You can't be shocking kids.
Yes, our official stance. Do not shock kids. Andy, acting on his mother's advice to go straight home if ever lost, did just that.
He found his way home in Chicago? I'm an adult. And the other day I was driving home, thinking about Donkey Kong, and I missed my street. And I had to pull up the GPS for, like, I was in my neighborhood. I still had to pull it up.
Yeah, I passed your house twice before I found it coming here today. Now, when you say thinking about Donkey Kong, are you using that as a euphemism for texting about driving? Or texting and driving?
No, I leave my phone in the glove box. I was thinking about Donkey Kong.
Same. The official report gets spotty and extremely redacted, but the official story basically ends here and declares that Andy was proven innocent and the real killer, the third party associated with Charles Lee Ray and Eddie Caputo, was still at large.
What a terrible fizzle of an end for our first episode.
However, Karen's account of that evening is public and goes as follows.
Oh, hell yeah, give me the good stuff.
Upon returning home, Karen found Andy lying on the ground, Chucky standing over top of him, attempting to transfer the soul of Charles Lee Ray into his body through a voodoo ritual.
Oh, it was voodoo.
Grim Cuddy's still not going to show up, though.
Okay.
The soul transfer ritual was prevented and Chucky attacked Norris before Andy trapped Chucky in the fireplace and lit the doll on fire, leaving him a charred, melted mound of what used to be Andy's best friend.
Andy is just so cool.
Yeah, you want to hang out with him?
I mean,
you want to wait to see if he actually killed these people first?
No, I'm just worried about, like, he grew up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then, yeah, I don't want to hang out with a little kid.
He's still alive. He's an adult.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, then I want to hang out with him. I don't care if he killed these people.
Okay. All right. It's good to know your moral standards. Back to it. However, the doll got back up. Took a few bullets to break the doll into pieces, separating his head from the rest of his body.
Thank God she got it at a discount, huh? Huh?
The doll still proceeded to attack, his head and body acting independently of each other, until he was shot through the heart, putting the doll down once and for all.
That's what Dr. Death said.
Yeah, he wasn't asking them to destroy his heart. Who'da thunk? The Chicago Police Department denies Karen's story and wouldn't allow Mike Norris or his partner, Jack Santos, the first on the scene, to testify in any of the trials, completely hanging Karen out to dry. The lack of support and the official denial of her version of the events did not deter Karen from standing by her son's side, despite public opinion pinning the blame on him before the trial even ended. As was stated, the official story was that another associate of Charles Lee Ray was responsible and was never identified. Due to her insistence that the doll was responsible for all of it, Karen was deemed unfit to care for Andy and was temporarily institutionalized, while Andy was put into the foster system, where trouble and the ghosts of these events followed him for years afterward.
What happened with Andy after this?
I just told you he went into the foster system, but I guess you mean after. He was involved in a lot of shit. We'll get there one day.
I mean, I can just Google it once we're not recording.
Hey, shut up. Though the official story was that the doll was not responsible, the impact of the killer doll urban legend on the Playpals company was disastrous. Despite several attempts to rebrand and even bring back the good guy dolls over the next decade, they never quite reached the height of popularity they had before the incident. They quietly closed down before the new millennium.
I'm thinking about it now. I remember that our school had a good guy doll in the kindergarten classroom, but some little kid got freaked out by it, and they removed it a few years after I had the class.
You remember that?
Yeah, it was hilarious. Everyone in the second grade was like laughing at this dumb little kid when we found out.
I was that kid.
Oh, what?
Yeah, that was me. My cousins told me about the urban legend. They showed me one of the dolls and told me he was on his way from Chicago to kill me, like cousins do. So when I saw it, I freaked out, thought he found me, and my mom asked the teacher to get rid of it.
Your cousins are hilarious. But also, I'm a little upset that you're the reason I never saw Jeffrey bin Laden again.
You didn't even know who Osama bin Laden was when you were in kindergarten.
You don't know that.
Was he your pen pal?
I don't want to talk about it.
So we now move on to our next segment where we provide our thoughts and speculation. Cody, given the evidence and story we just went over, what do you think actually happened? It's still Andy?
Well, clearly, dolls aren't real. No, I mean, I'm quite fond of my Andy the Killing Machine theory, really.
Dolls aren't real? Whatever. Well, he was officially ruled out regardless, plus how could he have killed Dr. Death so brutally while he was accounted for during his evaluation?
Fair.
All right, what else you got?
I guess the Mystery Association of Charles Lee Ray works out. Shady people hanging out with shady people, that's bad.
Okay. How do you explain the fact that Maggie was the first victim?
Well, maybe they. Huh,
None of them have any reason to know Maggie, so
got it, got it. Okay. No, I do got it. This mystery associate heard about the incident where Andy accidentally knocked Maggie out of the window, snuck him away from the school the next day, told him that Chucky wanted to blow up Eddie. He went and made Dr. Death live up to his name, caught up with Andy, and killed the real doctor. Took Andy home, told him about the soul thing, slipped out the window, and that's when Karen showed up.
okay, so in your ideal version of this, Andy still has a body count.
Don't take this from me.
Okay. So you're willing to settle on it being a brilliant and opportunistic criminal mastermind who framed a kid for no reason.
No, fine. The fucking doll did it. Okay, you're. I don't like how you make me think about what I'm saying.
Okay, well, I don't want to tell you what happens after this, but there is one thing I will tell you. This was not the last Chucky case.
There's more.
Yes, and we will get to that one day. That does it for our first episode of Real Strange Tales. We hope you enjoyed this, and we will see you next time when we delve into the tale of the Manitoba Manatee.
The what?
All right, I'm going to level with you for a second. It wasn't actually a manatee, it was a walrus.
That doesn't answer anything.
And it wasn't actually a walrus.
What the fuck are we talking about?
You're just going to have to tune in to see it.
I'm here.
True.
Okay.
Thanks for tuning in.